Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dick Fleming. I'm CEO of the St. Louis-based Community Development Ventures Incorporated. And having had the opportunity to actively work on St. Louis's geospatial business and civic efforts over the past 7 years, it's my honor this morning to serve as your MC for today's event. Prior to my current role, I led economic development in Denver and here in St. Louis for a number of years. It's been my privilege to work with Senator Roy Blunt, Jack Pryor, and Keith Mosbach on geospatial efforts overall here in St. Louis, and on the project for which we are holding this morning's official groundbreaking, namely the 75,000 square foot multi-tenant, this is a long name for it, sensitive compartmented information facility. Now you know why they call them SCIFs. This is currently under development on the floor above us. This SCIF will be our region's first multi-tenant SCIF and one of the nation's largest, and it is complemented by the full floor unclassified space here on the 6th floor in which we're located this morning. The 6th and 7th floor combination is what could be described as an economic development dream for St. Louis. Another global high-tech asset located in this beautifully renovated historic Globe building, and yet another anchor tenant in St. Louis's newest innovation district. This downtown north Insight District is a collaborative civic venture of Jim McKelvey and John Berglund in their building just a few doors away, the new home for up to 1,400 employees of Square and Cash App, of Steve Stone and his colleagues who have made the Globe a location of choice for firms such as Maxar, T. Carter, Ball Aerospace, Geospatial World Media, and now Westway Services Group and their new SCIF. In fact, we're pleased to have here this morning the founder and owner of T. Carter, their CEO and owner from Sweden, Sten Ravhad, and his colleague and president of T. Carter USA, Simon Bailey. Let's give them a round of applause for their welcome. Regarding the new SCIF here at the Globe building, Geospatial World magazine recently noted, quote, "The SCIF at the Globe building is the first of its kind outside the National Capital Region, and it underscores the importance of the emergence of St. Louis as a national geospatial intelligence hub," end quote. So with that as background, let's get on with the show. As we've learned from our region's 20-year effort to advance St. Louis as the BioBelt Center of Plant and Life Sciences, it takes civic champions. And it takes civic champions for a community to advance such economic and entrepreneurial development aspirations. In the case of St. Louis's nascent efforts to become a geospatial intelligence hub, there has been no stronger civic champion than Missouri's senior senator, Roy Blunt. In addition to serving as the chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee, as the ranking member of the Senate Rules Committee, Senator Blunt also serves on the Senate Appropriations Committee, the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, and quite relevant to today's event, the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Perhaps no one in Congress appreciates the significance and critical importance of having the scale and nature of the SCIF now being built upstairs in this building more than does Senator Blunt. Given his long-standing effort to make this critical additional asset to St. Louis as a key addition to the St. Louis geospatial intelligence ecosystem, we are most pleased to have Senator Blunt here today to comment on the importance of the project, to tour the classified portion of the project as he did earlier this morning, and to take a bit of a civic victory lap. Please join me in thanking Senator Blunt for all he has done for this community and for this state. Senator?
Well, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Dick. Great to be here this morning. Every time I come in the Globe building, I've been doing this long enough that my first trips to the Globe building was to see if I could get the endorsement of the St. Louis Globe-Democrat, which I almost always did. And early on, when I went down the street to the Post-Dispatch building, I got their endorsement too, but not for a while, I would say. But glad to be here and glad to be in this building. And really, this for me at least, is the moment when it seems to me that we've gone from talking about the economic opportunity that could come to St. Louis as a result of the National Geospatial decision to stay on this side of the river, to go in the north part of the St. Louis community, from talking about that to seeing this happen. This is the skip upstairs is like 2.5 acres, which is I think Jack Pryor was telling me the biggest SCIF, privately owned, not located in the DC area, anywhere in the country. And what does that mean? It means we have an opportunity here for our commercial partners to become a bigger part of what's happening in the data sciences, what's happening in the whole GeoInt community. And it's going to be one of the fastest growing parts of our economy in the future. You know, what we're seeing now with commercial imagery, there are a lot more commercial satellites in the air than there are government satellites in the air. And frankly, they're updating them more quickly than the government can or will. May not be quite at the exquisite level that sometimes in the intel world you need, but most of the time what you need is not at that level. It's in the frequency level that you see happening in commercial GeoInt, the commercial geosciences. What we're seeing in Ukraine every single day is an incredible and amazing reliance on commercial imagery that's available to everybody. But if you have the imagery and you have the analytics, commercial or otherwise, to quickly use it, just like the Ukrainians are, things happen that you wouldn't think would be able to happen and maybe wouldn't have been able to happen a year ago or 2 years ago, but are happening now. And with these partnerships we see developing where we live, in a part of the economy that hasn't fully engaged on where the hub of that economy is going to be, the GeoInt economy, the geospatial economy. There's absolutely no reason that it shouldn't be here, and there's every reason it should be here. You know, when Robert Cardillo became the chairman of the head of NGA, he was right at the moment when it was the right time to decide that using commercial imagery was critically important to our national security future. In fact, on documents that are publicly available now, if you look at what the intel community was saying 10 years ago, they were looking at commercial imagery and saying, well, we don't think it'll get in our way very much. To 6 months ago, the word they were using was game changer. And not only a game changer in that part of what we do, but in so many other parts of what we do. Driverless cars, collection of data, trying to use that data on a daily basis to figure out where the right investment of the future is going to be and where rental apartments could be as opposed to other kinds of investment. All of that is going to be part of this GeoInt universe and this GeoInt world. We're seeing this building already highly subscribed with significant companies who didn't have a commitment like this to St. Louis in the past. We're seeing our university communities step up to want to be part of creating that infrastructure to where St. Louis and Missouri are the place to be. The University of Missouri is a significant trainer in this whole area. St. Louis University has really taken hold in a significant way. I went through one of their facilities the other day where this is becoming an important part of their curriculum. Harris Stowe has a significant commitment to be part of machine learning, part of artificial intelligence. There's so much information now coming to us that what we really need to know is at what point should a person look at this? And so the artificial intelligence component of all this is significant. And if you hadn't been paying any attention to the discussion of COVID, which is hard to believe you wouldn't have been, how many times in the last 2 years have we heard the critical importance of data and how data can tell us in advance what we need to know if we know how to analyze it in the right way. So we're on the edge here of a really incredibly important part of the economy, an incredibly important opportunity for us to make the most of. The National Geospatial, the GeoInt Conference was here last year. I had a chance to speak to them. I think they're going to be here not this year, but next year again. And by the time you leave this morning, just with the other things you're going to be talking to each other about and hearing others talk about, I think we're beginning to see the real economic opportunity, not only that comes in building out a building like this, a facility like this, but the jobs that will be here on a permanent basis. Some jobs will eventually outgrow this building and go somewhere else, but in all likelihood, they'll be somewhere else in St. Louis. And Steve Stone, who had a vision for this building that was pretty incredible the first time he and I talked about it, you're seeing it now come together. I was in the building 60 days ago on the floor that you won't see upstairs. It didn't look anything like that 60 days ago, and this floor and the other floors being developed didn't either. Patty Hagan at T-Rex. We had people in from NGA, the National Director of Intelligence. Averill was here just a few months ago to talk about what's happening there. Paul McKee, LB Eckelkamp, people who had a vision of what could happen if we looked at North St. Louis and St. Louis as a place to do extraordinary things. And you're going to hear from Keith Mosbach and what they're doing with Plum Run. Jack Pryor working all over the country on these kinds of projects, but I'm anxious to hear from him how this one compares to the others. I made a list this morning when I was riding in the airport, from the airport to here, about the companies that I knew had made a significant determination to be here. Maxar was here early, Scale AI, T. Cantor, the Geospatial World Headquarters, the publication here. But in the hour since I've been here, there are so many others that should be mentioned. I don't want you to think that that's at all exhaustive. Incredible things happening as we put our arms around a really important and dramatically growing part of the economy and try to do everything we can to be sure that that economy knows how important Missouri, how important St. Louis, how important this region is. It should be here. It appears to be headed in that direction. I couldn't be more pleased to be a small part of that. And also, thank you for letting me work for you. Many of you off and on for really the last 30 years or so. I'm grateful. It's been a great opportunity. I look forward to the next 7 months or so as I finish my 26 years in the Congress to do everything I can to continue to keep these things headed in the right direction for jobs and opportunity and national security. Thank all of you.
Yeah, Senator, we really appreciate your great leadership, and will continue to do so as you complete a great Senate career. And apropos of the Senator's reference to Maxar, they're right downstairs on the 3rd floor. That little Maxar you see every morning on the news from the satellite images of Ukraine. And the research side of what's going on here is extraordinary. A number of our guests here today are senior players in the SLU Geospatial Research Institute, as well as part of the new Taylor Geospatial Research Institute to reinforce that sort of process of this industry cluster happening. Looking to the private sector, there is perhaps no more highly respected observer of the geospatial intelligence industry than Keith Mosbach. Keith is now owner and managing partner of Plum Run, LLC, which provides advisory and consulting services primarily to startups in the geospatial intelligence and related tech fields. He's also an early-stage investor in and board member of a number of early-stage companies. Prior to his creation of Plum Run, Keith served as president and CEO of the U.S. Geospatial Intelligence Foundation, USGIF, for over a decade, following service for over 20 years as a senior officer and federal executive in the intel field, including service at the NGA. A number of us have had the benefit of Keith's insights and wisdom since St. Louis began its effort to become a geospatial intelligence hub. In fact, I was pleased to work with Keith several years ago in originally introducing Westway services to St. Louis and in assisting them in ultimately deciding to build their SCIF here at the Globe. Keith will share his unique perspectives on the connection of having the new multi-tenant SCIF to St. Louis's potential for expansion and recruitment of national GeoInt firms that are already here and other firms requiring classified space. This potential for creating new jobs as well as enhancing St. Louis's startup ecosystem in this sector. A frequent national and international speaker and author on the subject, Keith has underscored the expanded opportunities for geospatial intelligence, extending well beyond its historic focus on defense. And he'll speak to this, I suspect, in his remarks. Keith Mosbach. Keith?
Wow, I continue to be humbled as a New Yorker at how I am welcomed in St. Louis and the opportunity to consider myself sort of an honorary member of this community. So I appreciate that. I will point out when we were upstairs and Senator Blunt talked about what has happened, the transformation upstairs that has occurred in 2 months. And I couldn't help but reflect on the lack of progress that's occurring in my bathroom renovation back in New Jersey. And I need to talk to my contractor because the bathroom isn't quite 75,000 square feet. And it's not quite as ready as what's going on upstairs.
Brendan will travel.
Right. Look, Dick, thank you for your very kind introduction. You are relentless and you are energetic in your infectious love of St. Louis, and you are a remarkable advocate for this town. And I've learned a lot from you about its people and the community. Senator Blunt, it's also been my distinct pleasure to be able to interact with you and your remarkable staff, both here in Missouri and back in Washington. Having been in the national security business for about 30 years, I am keenly aware of the impact that you've made on our nation through your service. And I hope that everyone understands that when congressional colleagues make the selection for who ends up on the intelligence committees, it is a sacred trust. It is not, they are not handled like any other committee. Lots of other factors are put aside, and it is about who do we trust? Who do we trust to oversee some of the most sensitive things that are done in our nation? And you were called to that service, Senator Blunt, and you did it in a remarkable way. Well beyond what we recognize today, so thank you. This groundbreaking is exciting. This is a big deal. It's a team sport. We will continue to hear some of the names throughout the rest of this short presentation of those who were responsible, those who saw this, believed in it, and worked to make it happen. Through my lens, what Dick has accomplished by being an advocate for this city, Steve for his vision in the building, Jack for toiling through a system and a set of policies that has not heretofore been friendly to accomplishing what's going on upstairs. So kudos to all of you and your extended teams for rallying to make a vision reality. And beyond that, for that to happen in the midst of a pandemic and personal and personnel and supply chain issues that were working against us. The opportunity that many of us have dreamed and hoped for St. Louis truly is at hand. It takes industry and academia and the government to come together. And when I look, as I must as a geospatial person, from Cortex to T-Rex and the Post-Dispatch building and the Globe and up to Northside and Northside Regeneration, we can begin to see this ecosystem extending from one part of St. Louis to the other. And it's beyond that. It's regional. It's USGS in Rolla, and it's Fort Leonard Wood and the engineers, and it's other parts of this state and this region which I think can absolutely benefit from the opportunities that we highlight today. I certainly hear over and over, because I spend my entire life immersed in it, that geospatial intelligence is impacting every sector in the economy. And it truly is, from smart cities to autonomous vehicles to just-in-time logistics. I really do feel, and I've been saying in presentations of late, that this is the geospatial intelligence moment. And if this is the geospatial intelligence moment, then this is the geospatial intelligence place. To quote Wayne Gretzky, St. Louis skated to where the puck was going to be. St. Louis recognized the opportunity and began to put in place, through a carefully curated campaign, an effort to be prepared to take advantage of some of the things that were happening in this community. And there is no better time and there is no better opportunity for St. Louis and Missouri and the region than right now. I would also be remiss if I didn't say that the workforce is a tremendous challenge. As I look at the startups that I'm able to be engaged with on a day-to-day basis, other than the last few weeks, money has never been a problem for them. But the workforce is an incredible challenge. And we will not be able to fully realize this opportunity if we aren't able to take advantage of the entirety of the potential that exists in this city and in this region. So it's got to be done in an inclusive way, and it's got to be done in an equitable way. There is too much geospatial intelligence work to do across the entire economy, and that far exceeds the number of people who are trained and educated and prepared to do it. And those of you who are managers and worrying about hiring, I can see you agreeing with me as I speak. So it's incumbent upon us to take advantage of everyone who can participate in this and not leave anybody behind. Because if we aren't able to extend the training and the education and the professional development and the reskilling and upskilling to a broad cohort of people and bring everyone in, to include traditionally underrepresented populations in this field, we will not succeed. We will sub-optimize this opportunity that has been presented. So thank you so much again for allowing me to be part of St. Louis, for being part of this journey. This SCIF is a critical enabler for accomplishing a remarkably bold vision for geospatial intelligence in St. Louis. And that's why this really is an incredible day to step back and celebrate and sort of recommit to all the things we need to keep doing in order to take advantage. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Keith. After last night, we really like that Gretzky skating to the puck analogy, and we hope to keep doing that. Next, gentleman without whom we would not be here. The Westway Group is a pioneer in the field of developing multi-tenant SCIFs, which have changed the way both small and large companies conduct their business with the Department of Defense, the U.S. military, as well as with state and local government agencies, and as Keith just indicated, with commercial clients in an increasingly broad array of applications. As president of Westway Enterprises, Colonel Jack Pryor brings a distinguished 50-year career in the U.S. military, education, executive management, and leadership arenas in both industry and international business to Westway. Jack is here to share why Westway selected this location at the Globe Building to build this new facility. Jack?
Senator Blunt, distinguished guest, I'm really pleased to be here, and I'd like to start by just giving you a few comments of why the Globe, why Westway came here. When we saw the market moving to St. Louis, we took a look at the whole city. We looked for buildings. We looked for areas that we could do A lot of buildings couldn't be SCIFed for a lot of different reasons. They just couldn't be done. We started to learn more about St. Louis thanks to a number of people. I finally got to the Globe building. It started to fit a lot of things we were looking for. It was, I heard the planning of the Downtown Innovation Center. We wanted to be near T-Rex. That fit. It was a good location. The other thing is we had a very creative and cooperative landlord in Steve Stone. And I can tell you, going around the country, you don't always get that. So we went to work to solve problems together to get here. So that's kind of why we're here. We like it, it fits, and that's why we're building our facility here in this area as the first one in this region. There will be more, but this is the first one. And the other thing, I really want to thank Senator Blunt. Now, I started in the government, in and out of the government when I was 18 years old. Well, now I'm 78, so I think that, if my math is right, that's 60 years. And I've worked for the Chiefs of Staff of the Army, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, was a White House aide at one time in my career, et cetera, et cetera. So I know that when you have a vision, that's not enough. It's the guy that can get it done, the guy that has the grit, the stamina, the resilience, and sticks with it and won't drop the bone in his mouth. That is your senator. He did that. I know how hard it is to get something like this done. It is a major feat, and he did it. And so I'm awfully grateful because it gives us opportunities and other people opportunities. Now, what about the SCIF upstairs? Well, it's a little over 2 acres of SCIF. It's 75,000 square feet. The building is sold out. It is totally full at this time. We left our first leases yesterday. And we've got 27 companies on the waiting list to get in. So the other thing, I know the senator mentioned it, Keith mentioned it, but Senator, 500 new jobs to St. Louis on our part. So that's not a huge number, but it's a start for this Geospatial Center. And those are new jobs that are coming to St. Louis, and we're hiring daily to bring more people to St. Louis. So this is a great opportunity for us. We appreciate everybody and everything that they've done. And I'll tell you, we are committed at Westway to be a good citizen with the state of Missouri, a good citizen with the city of St. Louis. We will always make a full commitment, and we'll be good partners for the city and for the state. And so thank you very much for all you've done, and that's about all I have to say. And so again, thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Jack. Before opening up for a few questions from the media regarding the new SCIF and to have the official groundbreaking for those of you who saw the box over yonder there, in addition to Senator Blunt, Keith, and Jack, we'd like to recognize both several special guests as well as several firms that have made this important new St. Louis Geo asset a reality. First, I'd like to thank several public officials for joining us this morning and for being very supportive of this effort. Alderman James Page, whose award includes both downtown and North St. Louis, the location of the new NGA West campus and the surrounding Northside regeneration development. Next, Alderman Jeffrey Boyd, chairman of the HUD's committee in the Board of Aldermen and a big supporter of the project. And thirdly, a critically important public partner, Sue Pullman, the NGA West executive and N2W program director, which is to say she's overseeing, in addition to her day job, the building of a new $1.7 billion campus just outside the northwestern corner window that we can see from here. It is going to be a tremendous added anchor to our economy. I think Sue should stand up and get a round of applause for the work that she's doing. Next, a number of private sector partners in the project, the real estate professionals who represented the Globe throughout this and other transactions as the landlord, Balky Brown, Transwestern. Development progress in the center city is not possible without bank funding commitments, and the Bank of Springfield consistently has made theirs. Bank of Springfield Chairman Tom Moran's, Vice President Shane Fee, and Mike Halsney are here in attendance today to again show their commitment both to the Globe and to downtown St. Louis. There's another bank in attendance here today that also deserves special mention and recognition and thanks. Without the funding support of the Bank of Washington and L.B. Eckelkamp, St. Louis would not have had a site to offer the NGA during the site selection process that started back in 2012, and NGA's now nearly $2 billion new Western headquarters would likely be under construction in another state. And today's SCIF official groundbreaking in downtown St. Louis would not be taking place. The NGA West headquarters development may eventually prove to be one of the most transformative projects in our city's history. Its impact is already being felt in this new downtown North Insight District in which we're located today. In that regard, thank you, NGA. Thank you, Robert Cardillo. Thank you, Paul McKee, for your commitment, steadfast commitment and vision and investment which helped bring NGA's new Western headquarters to North St. Louis. A round of applause for that group of individuals. We want to thank Doug Rasmussen for helping to navigate important local public sector engagement with SLDC. Doug is here with us with a very committed team of economic development professionals from SLDC, including Rob Orr, Dale Rusatz, Zach Wilson, Steve Davis, and Daphne Moore. Thanks also to the legal team of Stone Layton Gershman, who represented the Globe building. And last but far from least are the firms which are actually building the new SCIF. The general contractor is Wright Building Systems, with an important assist from development consultant Matt O'Leary. The trades who are working on the Westway SCIF project are Square Up, Reinhold Electric, Rock Hill Mechanical, All American Painting, American Fire, H&G Door, Stevens Flooring, CCOM, and Datatel. Thanks to each of these firms for their commitment and their skills. They've all bought into the importance of this project to the region and to the nation.